Hi everyone, this episode is what nobody talks about, and that's the identity crisis that you get in your 20s, because I feel like it's quite unavoidable and it's kind of like a quarter life crisis, and you're just meeting yourself for the very first time in your life, and that's kind of scary because you kind of think something's wrong with you or what is going on, and you can kind of feel really lost and behind or confused, like you're supposed to have everything figured out by now. But what about the confusion isn't failure? What if it's the beginning of your identity? And here's the uncomfortable question that I had to sit with, that I think everyone needs to sit with. If you removed your job or your career or your aspirations for your future career, your relationship, your appearance, and your habits, if you pulled all them back, who would you actually be? Would you recognize yourself? Or would you realize that you're living a version of your life that was built for survival and not your truth? And maybe that's why you're in the crisis. So if you're feeling behind, or like you're falling behind slowly, I think you're actually changing. And you're getting redirected for good. For the longest time, I thought I was falling behind, and I get into those puddles where I think I am over and over. Everyone around you are becoming someone, or doing things, or traveling, or just getting achievements, and you're just slowly behind. And sometimes you kind of just feel in between versions of yourself and kind of in limbo or lost. Not who you used to be, not the fun version of yourself, but not who you're becoming either. And I kept asking myself, like, why can't I just get it together? Why can't we just get it together and choose or decide? But now I realize something. You don't get it together during these identity shifts. You fall apart first. And sometimes you fall apart dangerously for a long time. And nobody really tells you that part. This is the hidden part that you don't see, because everyone's gone through this, if they show it or not. Because what if the version of you who had everything figured out was never actually you? What if it was just a version of you that was easiest to accept? This is chapter 2, the day I realized I didn't even know who I was. That's a moment that people don't talk about enough. When you wake up and you feel unfamiliar in your life, or unfamiliar in your routine, or you don't have a routine, you somehow become unemployed all of a sudden, or someone's broken up with you and you don't even know what life is. Not because your life has changed overnight, or maybe it has, but because you did. And I remember thinking, why do I feel different now? Why did I put so much of myself onto someone else? Why do I react differently now? Why don't I enjoy the same things I used to enjoy? Why do I feel disconnected from people or from social events? But the real question was that you should be asking yourself is, what parts of you were never actually yours to begin with? Because a lot of us don't realize we don't just grow into ourselves, we also grow out of conditioning. We grow out of our survival habits, out of people pleasing, of the goal is just for being liked. And when all that facade falls away, when all that high school drama is gone and dusted with, or that relationship is finally over, you feel empty for a while, like something is missing, like you're in that identity crisis. But that emptiness is not lost skill, and that emptiness isn't a loss. It's space that you're creating for a reason. You're not lost, you're in transition. And that's chapter 3. You're in this transition. Let me say something clearly right now to you. You are not lost. You're not in an identity crisis. You might just be in between identities right now. And that can feel like chaos. It really can. Because the old version of you is still visible in your habits, but the new version of you is forming in your decisions. And they don't really match yet, and that's what the identity crisis is really about. So you feel inconsistent. One day you're motivated, or for 1 hour, and then you feel completely numb. One day you're confident, and then one day you're doubting every single thing about you. And you kind of think, what's wrong with me, or what's going on? But you're just in the uncomfortable middle, okay? Nothing is wrong. Everything is fine. You're just in the part where everything feels a bit unstable at the minute. But that's where most people give up. And if you're watching this video, that's the first step into not giving up. Not because the other people are weak and they give up, but because identity crisis is obviously very uncomfortable before it's rewarding. Chapter 4. The roles you didn't realise you were even playing. Can I ask you something? Actually, how much of your personality is actually you, that you actually made? Do you spend enough solo time with just yourself, have enough hobbies, know yourself inside out? How much of it is a performance? The funny one, the energetic one, the social one, the agreeable one, the strong one, the one who never needs anything or doesn't cause any problems? Because I started noticing something. If you're in one of them, you're not just living your life, you're maintaining a role. Or at least you were. Maybe for part of your life, you were in that kind of mindset of just being the one that doesn't speak up, or is the strong one, is the funny one. And maybe your whole identity was grabbing onto that, was grabbing onto being the quiet one or the loud one. And now all of a sudden you don't know who you are because that is fading away. It's redirecting you into you're not who you used to be. You're growing as a person. And that's a good thing, obviously. If you used to be a quiet person, this identity crisis is showing you that you deserve more and that your higher calling is calling you. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that amazing, knowing that you deserve more and you were born for more, and this identity crisis is just pulling you towards a better life? Because the roles before were exhausting, living up to all that pressure. But the scariest part is when you start changing, people get used to the old you, the old role, and they don't understand you anymore, and they might leave. But that is not your responsibility at all, and it's not your fault at all. So that's why this next chapter is about why this part feels so damn lonely. Nobody warns you about this part, that when you start becoming more self-aware, you also start becoming way more selective with the people in your life and with the environments, with the energy that you hold. And suddenly, the things you used to tolerate becomes unbearable. The conversations feel different, the vibes feel different, friendships feel different, even your own thoughts feel different. And that can feel isolating and lonely. But here's the truth. Now, you're not becoming disconnected from these people. These people aren't leaving you. You're becoming connected to yourself, that higher self. And that connection changes everything. It changes the game. It changes your life. Because once you start hearing yourself clearly, you can't unhear it. And once you start outgrowing the old you and start becoming, that's a hard truth to sit with. So, who are you becoming? I don't think identity crisis means you're breaking yourself, but I think it means you're revealing yourself. Your better self. You're literally resetting yourself into a better you, stripping away everything that wasn't actually you. And what did leave? Maybe the uncertainty, the silence, the discomfort, but that's basically all the bad things. And also something else, honesty. And honesty is where identity really begins. Not certainty or perfection, not having it all figured out, just truth and honesty. So if you're in that place right now and you're feeling like your life is falling apart and you're having a bit of an identity crisis, when your life feels unfamiliar or just something has happened to you that you feel like you'll never get over, or you're just feeling really lost right now, when you feel like you're in between versions, I want you to hear this part really carefully. You are not behind. You are not broken. This is not your fault. You are not lost. You are becoming. And becoming is so messy, but it's also sacred and rare, because one day you're going to look back at this version of your life and realize it wasn't actually crisis or a rut. It was your beginning. And that is what nobody talks about in your 20s. Not the breakdown, but the becoming, the reset. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. Comment this emoji if you're still here, so I know you're watching right now and I know you're being a real one. And don't forget to comment anyway and save this video for when you might need it again, and subscribe for more videos to come. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!